everybody's all thinking of retention, right? How to keep my clients from jumping ship, right? I call it Thank You Thursday. Every Thursday, pick a random client and record my video email and this says, hey, Josh, I just want to say I'm super thankful that we worked together. I hope that we're delivering delivering on our promise to you, yada, yada, yada. If there's anything that you need, I want you to know that we're your web design partner. We want to see you grow in 2024 and beyond. Click that link below. You can call me right from this video email, or hey, click here if you want to reply back. I wanted to let you know I'm thankful for you. Those thank you, it's like sending like a little note instead of a handwritten note. You're sending a thank you just to let your clients know how much you appreciate them.
Welcome to the Web Design Business Podcast with your host, Josh Hall, helping you build a web design business that gives you freedom and a lifestyle you love.
Hey friends, welcome into the podcast. So great to have you here. We're going to dive into a very, very important discussion in this one. And it's important because it's one of the things that you can do in your web design business to build trust and authority and attract clients without having to do a bunch of the typical advertising that you may think of. And it's also one of the best ways to differentiate yourself from the swarm and sea of other web designers out there nowadays. And that's video, more specifically video marketing for web designers. Now, if you're like me and you think about video marketing, you probably immediately think about like reels or social media short videos, professional video shoots, and you can do those things in video marketing. But what I've found is that video marketing, especially nowadays, it's so much more. There's so many more ways to get into it and make it comfortable for you and make it grow your business, because you can utilize video marketing to help sell before a client even speaks with you, or to keep your current clients around and keep them coming back. You can do video with your phone. You can do video with screen recording. You don't need to have this mindset that video marketing is something to be feared. It's something that I highly encourage that you, if you're not doing it yet, that you do it, because I want your business to thrive. And it's one of the best ways to stand out nowadays as a web designer. So with that foundation laid, I'm so excited to dive into this further with a good friend of mine, Doug Dibert, who is the founder and CEO of a video tool called Magnify. For those of you who have been through my courses, you've probably seen that at the end of all of my courses, I have a little link that says leave a video testimonial, and that is using Magnify. It has been an incredible tool for me for collecting video testimonials because it makes it easy for the user just to click the link. It pops open their camera and their mic, and they can just do a video instead of having to download Loom if they're not familiar with that, or me as a web designer, if I don't want to be tinkering around with video editing. Magnify is the best way to go. And not only does Doug have a wealth of knowledge with video collecting testimonials and that, but he also has been in the industry a long time, and he knows what works for marketing with video and AKA growing your business with video. So we're going to dive into all of that and more in this conversation. Again, I highly recommend checking Magnify out, especially if you have no experience with video editing or don't want to worry about that. You can use Magnify to not only collect video testimonials, but you can also use it to send videos through email and use it as a video marketing tool for you. I have a special link that Doug has graciously set up for you. You can go to joshhall.co/magnify. That is MAGNFI, joshhall.co/magnify. That'll be linked in the show notes as well for this one. And then I'll give you a special deal that Doug set up for you just by listening to this podcast. So check that out. Give Magnify a spin to see if it's a good fit for you, to not only collect video testimonials from your clients, but to send video emails and use it as a nice tool to help you easily market your business with video. So without further ado, let's dive in. Here's Doug. Let's get into video marketing tips for you, my web designer friends. All right. Well, Doug, welcome back on to the show, my friend.
Josh, Mr. Josh Hall, thank you so much for having me on. It's always awesome to get on with the man, the myth, the legend, the web design guru, Mr. Josh Hall. So thank you for the privilege of having me on, sir.
Man, well, we have quite the background together, Doug. We've both kind of seen each other come up as networking buddies, and I've worked for you, you worked for me. We've done it all together. But one thing that I've always appreciated about you, and where I think you have a very unique kind of mindset and just a unique position in the market is video marketing in general. I mean, I always look to you for video testimonial advice and the systems you have in process with that.
Yeah.
But I feel like you've probably seen video marketing in its infancy to now. I mean, I guess a broad question, but to kick us off, I really want to focus on video marketing in general, especially web designers. But where is video marketing today in the age of AI and all the things going on? Where is it at today?
If you look at history and the gold rush of out in California, right, where people rushed out to get the gold, right? That's what I feel like it is right now for businesses. And the businesses that are leveraging video on a consistent basis, it's golden opportunity unlike anything, honestly, I've ever seen, right? A lot of businesses, like you hear about Web3, right? With all the metaverse and all that. Businesses are just barely understanding just Web 2.0, social media and video. And the cool part about like all the AI stuff that's coming out, now businesses are going, this video thing is interesting. We need to start doing video. So it's never been a better time to start doing it than now, because a lot of people, it's kind of like, I don't hate to utilize it, but it's kind of like going to the gym a little bit, right? We all want to get fit and trim, but you got to go to the gym. You got to lift the weights, got to do the things, right? And then you go to the beach and you look good, right? And like the other people ain't looking so good because they're not hitting the gym. So if you, as a business, start leveraging video consistently, it's like you're going to the marketing gym and you're getting those muscles developed and you're just crushing your competition because they're too scared to lever it. So I say all that, it's a golden opportunity right now to really take territory.
Gotta build those video marketing muscles. I like the dad puns, Doug.
There you go.
I like it.
I got lots of them, man.
That is a really good point, though. I mean, you've probably seen me come up from a standpoint where I did no video marketing in the early days of my business to now I've been on video every day for 8 years. World of difference with communication.
It's essential. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's essential. Yeah. I mean, obviously, and I have a personal brand, but even when I started implementing video for In Transit Studios, I didn't do it in the form of social media reels and stuff like that, but I was doing a lot of client videos back and forth. I started doing training videos for clients. That was all a form of video marketing. So let's dive into the term video marketing. Because when you think about video, I think everyone probably immediately thinks about reels on Instagram or TikTok, but that's not just what video marketing is. Like what is encompassed inside of video marketing?
Video marketing is essentially looking at what your current marketing stack is and how to make it better with video. So I go by the mantra that automate, delegate, and eliminate, right? What can you automate with video in your business? What can you delegate out with video in your business? And what can you eliminate task-wise in your business with video? So like if you have an onboarding process with a new customer, right? Like say obviously your audience is web designers, right? So there's probably a lot of maybe some hand-holding, some basic stuff that you say over and over and over again. Well, criminally, make a video about it and walk them through that journey to get ready to begin to work with you. So that way you're not, there's only so many times like Josh Hall can meet with a client back in the day, right? When you were doing that stuff, onboarding lots of clients. So what if you had 12 clients come on at once? What if you have 15 clients come on at once? You'd be ripping your hair. See, that's why I started doing it. It's just so automate it out, right? So send your customers through a video funnel, educating them so that way when they do get that moment to meet with you one-on-one, they're already prepped and ready to go, and you're not wasting time doing something else.
That's a great point. So it's not just outbound sales and marketing, because that's immediately where my mind goes when I hear the term video marketing. And I've been doing this for so long, I know better, but still there's that. And I think, and I say this because I think a lot of web designers in particular, they hear video and they're like, oh no, I didn't get into web design to be on video. I got into web design to be on my computer and to build websites. But if you're going to grow your business and you want to get your if you want to build know, like, and trust without having to do sales calls, you could do it with video. Like, it's so important, but it's not just the marketing. It's not just sales. You're so right. It is the processes, the client onboarding, project management, offboarding.
But even then, let's go to automation, right? So let's say you are a solo web designer, and you're probably right now on the teeter-totter of business. Get the work, do the work. Get the work, do the work. Get the work, do the work, right? But if you're creating video content, you're setting aside an hour a month just to create some expert tip videos to position yourself as a thought leader, as an expert. And by the way, LinkedIn, if you're leveraging LinkedIn, they are starved for content, especially video. If you drop a video or 3 in a week, ideally you want to get to just dropping 1 a day. Anytime anybody hops into LinkedIn, they're going to see your video. And then that video is prospecting for you while you're working on web design stuff. So, and then that video say, hey, you share them a great tip, and then drive them to a Calendly, like to book an appointment. And then your Calendly is full of like qualifying questions. So you're only meeting with people that are qualified, that meet your budget standards, that are ready to go, things like that. But your video is doing all the sales work for you while you're working on websites.
LinkedIn has come up more and more over the past year in particular. I do, because I'm not active on it personally, but if I were to start a web design business today, LinkedIn would be a top strategy for me for sure, unquestionably. And I have heard about the video thing because it's quite different than Insta and TikTok and some others where Reels and Shorts have taken over, right? It seems like, with LinkedIn, for those interested, what is the video format like for LinkedIn? Is it vertical? Is it do they prefer short form versus long form? Or can you do both?
It doesn't matter. I get that question all the time. Like, what's the right form? Like, how long should my video be? What format? It used to be like, like vertical video. Was it like, you got to do a vertical video? You only can do vertical video. You only can do that, right? Because everybody was like hot on it, right? Now it's just all the platforms want video. They don't care if it's vertical, horizontal. They don't care if it's triangle.
Is that true for Instagram and like TikTok too?
Yeah. Because TikTok's now like they're pushing like 10-minute videos up to 10 minutes long on TikTok because they want to compete with YouTube. But YouTube is, they're still the giant gorilla in the room because they have Google, right?
Yeah.
But LinkedIn, as you said, LinkedIn is really it's an underutilized platform for video. They're starving for it. And I'll give you the quick. If you listen to this podcast, this is the one thing you should write down and really take to heart. Is just like Josh said, if you're just going to start a web design agency, leverage LinkedIn. And think of LinkedIn as in 2 ways, right? That DM, right? So within that DM, you're messaging them and things like that, but it's so crowded. So within Magnify, we have a tool called Create a Video Message. You can create a video and drop it in the DM, and it'll actually generate an animated GIF with a play button right in the DM. So you can communicate to them directly, right? But here's what happens a lot of the time. Even with the video, they may engage with it, but you might not get a response back. So the next level with that is creating content to put on your LinkedIn profile. I like to think of LinkedIn as like a really fancy email marketing nurturing platform that has video in it. Because they may not connect with you in the DM, but every time they log into LinkedIn, they're going to see your video in their face every single time that they get in. And then you may poke them a little bit later with a text. Oh, yeah, I remember that Josh guy created some really great videos about how I need to level up my SEO and video and then website strategy. So it's a really great way to nurture.
That's a great point, especially with those. If you do the little hits, like the little quick tips, basically, those just continue to build the relationship and those little expert. No one needs to be an influencer or anything like that. But the reality is, if you dish out your expertise, even for those who are early on, like I've always said to my students, even if you're 2 months into web design or you've gone through one of my courses, way more than your clients do.
Exactly.
So you're the expert. So share what you know, even if you barely know anything.
R&D, what Josh is teaching you. Rob and duplicate, right?
Rob and duplicate. That's good. Rob and duplicate. Yeah.
Just like you said, like the basic stuff that is going to blow that other that prospect's mind, right? So make little videos about it. And the cool part, just like you said too, it's like you don't have to be an influencer. I tell businesses all the time, don't get hung up on the Mr. Beast metrics, right? Just because your video on how to optimize your website did it have 14 million views and you only got 200, right? Or 300. Well, guess what? People pay a lot of money to walk into a room. Hey, everybody, I'm going to talk to you about video, website design. Imagine talking to 200 people. That's extremely valuable. You'd pay $500 to $1,000 to get in front of all those people who are your primary target audience, right? Because if you sold one of those people, you'd kill it.
I think about that often now, especially with this podcast, because I've been doing it for almost 4 years or 3 years, over 3 years now. And it's with video marketing. The reason I say this is because you feel like often you're talking to yourself when you post it. And even if maybe you get 2 likes and then 80 views, it feels like, was that a waste of time? Well, hold on. Not everybody likes video. I'm king of not liking a lot of videos that I actually enjoy. I'm just not that much of a liker by nature, but I watch it and I see it and that continues to, like, if it's somebody who's going to sell me something eventually, that makes a big impact on me. And if you think about 80 views, like you just said, Doug, what if you actually pictured 80 people?
Exactly.
What would that look like? I think about that with the podcast because sometimes inevitably anyone who has a show, you probably want bigger numbers. And we're generally getting about 20,000 on average downloads / views a month for the podcast, which is pretty dang cool. Not huge, but it's also a niche style podcast. But then so anytime I feel discouraged, I'm like, well, 20,000 people or 20,000, that's an arena.
That's huge.
That's an arena a month that this is. And some of those people are, but even if we were conservative and saying 10,000 people, unique listens, that's also an arena. Like that is real. So that's the power of video marketing online is like, I say that to say, just don't forget for everyone who's, I don't know about video. Like it really is reaching a lot of people. And
then really look at your conversion rates, right? So let's say out of 80 people, 5% of those convert to a meeting, right? And then let's say I'm just using low numbers, by the way, 1% of those people become a client. Is it not worth the 5 minutes it takes to create a simple little expert tip video? And the cool part about, I would say YouTube, like with Magnify, we're really leaning into YouTube, and because YouTube is forever marketing. You make that video once and it markets for you forever. Social media. I
love YouTube. Yep.
Yeah. Social media is great, but really a lot of those bigger influencers are pushing people over to their YouTube channels because of that forever marketing aspect. You make that one video. And as you know, Josh, right? I think you posted a video on video testimonials a long time ago. That sucker probably still gets plays and still gets views. And
some of my most popular videos are from 5 years ago, still on YouTube, and especially if they're like and thought leadership is good too. But if you do have anything that you could do a video on, like a tool, like a tutorial, and most web designers can, you will be shocked at how many clients that could potentially bring you, even if they're DIY. Like it's amazing doing a quick tutorial and posting it on YouTube, how far that will go. I have a friend, James Bernard, who has a massive following on Instagram and TikTok. That's all he's active on. But he does quick tip videos on Adobe. And that's what blew him up. And now he has a massive personal brand on those platforms. Yeah. So it does seem like it can work in some way on Instagram and TikTok. But I think you're right. The longevity is different on YouTube. So that's a couple things I want to dive into here, because I think everyone understands the power of video marketing. But now the real question is, and the overwhelm becomes, what should I do? Should I do like a talking head video? Should it be like polished and produced? Should it just be my phone walking in my neighborhood? Should I be in my office? Probably all of the above would work. And I've seen them all work. But what are the metrics on how you help people decide what type of video they should do? Because even in this stage of my career, I still sometimes feel like, should I do more thought leadership or should I do more tutorials? I kind of try to do a mix of all of them. But how do you help people decide what type of videos they should do?
Yeah, well, first, the first way to get started with video is just looking at, again, I go back to automate, delegate, and eliminate. You know, what can you automate with video? What can you delegate with video? And what can you eliminate with video? That's the first place to start, is really sit down and look at your business. And how can I create content to help my sales grow? Like what is your goal? Do you want to increase sales? Do you want to systematize people? Do you want to increase your conversion rates? Like with a video email message, right? You quote somebody, add a video to it. That's a simple way just to boost conversion rates. But if you're strictly talking on social media, is talk about niche topics. So if you're, let's say, for example, and correct me if I'm wrong, Josh, but most web designers will try to niche down to a specific market, right? Specific target market. So if they're not doing websites for everybody, right? So eventually, I mean, at the beginning, we do websites for everybody, but as you grow, if you can niche down to a specific industry, that's where the magic happens. So create videos based on the target audience that you want to attract, right? So I was working with an agency who was they did a little bit of everything, but they noticed that they could do really well in just the home service industry, like builders, remodelers, and stuff like that. So begin to create video content just around that niche market, because most businesses, they want to work with somebody that's an expert. Right. So, oh, yeah, you can do web design, but the guy that I'm using, he specializes in just remodelers. So he knows how to create website design and things like that around remodelers. So if you can niche down, and then the cool part about it is then you can begin to attract the people you really want to work with, who you quote and go, that's it? That's all you're charging me? Like, dude, we should have signed up like last week. Right. And then you go, crap, I should have raised my prices.
Yeah. It's not too late. You can do it then. Do it for the next one.
Yeah. So those are the videos you want to start making, right? You got to decide what you want to do. If you want to increase sales, start making videos for that specific client you want to attract.
Are these some of so strictly those type of videos, like the expert style videos? I guess we could call them influencer or thought leader or whatever.
Yeah. Thought leader, expert tip videos. Yep.
Yeah. Expert tip videos. Any of those. Do you find that a certain style works better, like a screen recording or a talking head video or something where you're walking? Like, are there like getting into the weeds on this, or does it all work?
Honestly, the biggest thing is just consistency. So if you want to one day, like you're out and about and you're walking your dog and you feel inspired to make a video, bust out your phone and record that thought. Right. And if you feel like, hey, I got to make a screen recording video, make sure your face is on it. Right. I hate people like, oh, why don't I do the faceless thing? Not really. If you want to build that know, like, and trust factor, throw your face in there. Right. So you're not ugly. You're beautiful. Put that face on there. Right. It's just, honestly, it's consistency. So if you feel like making a video, walking about, a screen recording video, expert tip video, and honestly, a variety is good. So that way it's not the same thing kind of over and over again. So. Yeah.
Good point. And the face thing, that's a biggie. And even when I started out with my video trainings for clients and stuff, I did it the way of just doing screen recordings, which was a great entry point. It helped me communicate clearly and get my thoughts out more succently. But I did realize it was so much more powerful when I got comfortable looking at the camera, because especially as a service provider, as a web designer, people are going to work with you. So you can really bypass sales completely by just being on video and them getting to know you, because that's one really cool thing about video is you can't hide behind it like a lot of other mediums. I mean, there's certain people who could come across great, but actually aren't that way. But you get a pretty good idea of somebody on video. Like even actors, my wife and I were just talking about this recently. It's like, we can almost identify immediately whether, and this probably sounds super judgy, but I'm sure everyone's like this. We all judge somebody like within the first 2 seconds. You're like, yeah, this person's, I like this person, or there's something about this person that irks me. Yeah. And the video really gets that across. So like for clients, it is, I don't know, do you share that same mindset? Like it's the way to almost bypass sales by just being on video? Yeah.
Well, I was literally going to raise that next point. If like you're wanting to see an increase in sales, when you start making those videos, and you hop on with a prospect, if they say to you, I feel like we've been hanging out because I've been watching your videos, you need to think in your head, slam dunk, baby. I need to give them my highest quality package, because they're already bought. They've already bought mentally in their head.
That's such a great point. That's the power of any of these video marketing tips on LinkedIn, any other social media, or YouTube as well. Yeah, it's almost like you become a bit of a rock star, and it makes them value your time too. I remember when I started doing Divi tutorials, I was still getting a lot of clients that way, and they weren't all the best clients, but I had some really good clients that were kind of DIYing it, or they had a team using Divi, and then they became clients. And yeah, when we would hop on a call, they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, same thing, Doug." They were like, "I feel like I know you. You've been in my ear. I've been watching you for months." So like, I'm so excited. I don't want to waste your time. I know you're busy, so here's what I want. And then like you said, it was a slam dunk. It was an easy sale because it was a hot, like steaming hot lead.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the cool thing is, I think nowadays too, I feel like I've seen such a transition with video marketing going from more polished to like studio and mics to some of my students who are doing video marketing. It's them on a phone on a walk or in their crappy office, like in their office, even barely an office. It's just a part of their apartment. Like it really, I think that's exciting now because you don't need to have super high quality especially as a web designer. You don't need that many clients. So
it levels the playing field. There's literally no excuses. I mean, within Magnify, it produces it for you. So there's no editing even needed. You just record a video. If you want a little more of a polished look, you want your logo, you want a little bit of music underneath it, you want a call to action with a graphic, Magnify will do that for you, right? So you don't. But there is maybe needs for fancier productions when it's warranted, right? But you can't spend $5,000 and create 10 videos at a $5,000 a pop. $50,000 a month in video, right? Can't do that. That's
great
a little
point.
crazy. Yeah,
great point. And that's why, I mean, with what you've built with Magnify, that is really cool because somebody who, and this is another barrier, somebody who was like, I've never done video editing. Do I use GarageBand? Do I have to get like Final Cut Pro? Like, what am I going to do? That is the really cool thing about Magnify. Literally anyone can do it. I mean, I still use a lot of my video programs. I do it every day. But for those who are intimidated by that, it's wonderful that that's an option now. And you said it, Doug, like there is probably a difference, maybe categories of videos to where if you're going to have like a sales video on your landing page for a service that's selling a $10,000 website, I might make some more time for that one and maybe have, some overlays. But
like when I was running,
if you're going to do a quick hit, like a minute, tip, then keep that simple on a walk.
Exactly. Let Magnify produce it for you. No big deal. But like the perfect example, when I was running my video marketing agency, I had a client who, if they sold one job, was $250,000. So when I quoted them $15,000 to do a really nice video, they're like, okay, that's cool. No big deal. Because if they sell one client out of that, and they got thousands of views off that video, so they killed it. So anytime they want to do a video, I'd give them my cost and, all right, cool. No big deal. They took care of everything. So it all depends on the value of the product that you're selling. But really at the end of the day, it's all consistency. If you do it consistently, you will see results. And like, even for myself, man, like I have a schedule, make sure I have my calendar to schedule out making videos because it's so important. But we're going through some really deep dives, like development stuff with the platform. For a new service we're getting ready to launch, Magnify Premium, and I fell off the video making wagon. And I saw it in my LinkedIn, like, you see your LinkedIn, like how many engaged stuff like that you get, it went. But the moment I started making videos again, it was like, shoom, like almost like if you follow like crypto, it mooned, right? It shot right back up. So that's how cool it is. It's so easy. It's crazy.
Yeah, because these algorithms on all these platforms, everyone knows. If they don't know, they know now that video is king. I mean, it really is. Yep. I'm sure that I think there's a lot of place for like the Twitter feeds and the short thoughts and stuff like that, and even scroll like like flat image scrolls. I think there's some of those are still going well, but video is just at a whole nother level, especially now because it's so accessible to everybody. The consistency, though, is like you said, that is the key. And that's also the challenge. Particularly, like I've gotten in a rut sometimes where I try to do one little video a week. And like the batching thing is definitely the way to go. It's easier said than done, but especially if you can, do one bigger piece of content and cut it up and chop it up and send it out once per week. I mean, the really cool thing about that is, and I've seen some of my students do this, is most of my students who have success in video marketing of any sort, it might be these little like thought leader style videos. Some of them are going a little bit more long form, but it's just conversational. It's almost like a little mini podcast. I mean, you could even do a Q&A style. There's just so many ways to go about it. But I guess the moral of the story is to just try it. Like get on video. It really, I mean, and anyone who's terrified, I can speak in pure confidence by saying you will get better the more you do it.
You'll get better the more you do it. I even looked at videos I made like when I first started Magnify, or even with my first business, started making videos for myself. Like I thought they were great, and I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, those are really bad. But it's consistency, and then to get over the fear thing. I always tell people that I always have in my head, like, look, you could be afraid and then watch somebody else be successful. And all you got to do is literally make some videos about your business and get your name out there. If you are passionate about what you do, you are doing a disservice to the marketplace not to tell people about it. Like, do you really believe in what you sell? Well, get on camera and start talking to people about it. Start making videos about it. And again, goes back to the analogy of being on the beach, right? Going to the gym. You hit the gym up, right? Flexing those video marketing muscles, and you're looking good, looking ripped, right? Who gets all the attention, right? The big, fat, giant lardo dude, right? That's not doing anything? Or the ripped person with a fantastic business that's just killing it? Who would you want to do business with?
You know, and that's such a good point. First of all, you're living in Florida now, so all your analogies are beach related. You son of a gun. But it's a great point about video marketing almost being a testing ground and like a muscle builder for sales, because it's true. If you talk about your business on video and you share what you do, you share the results, the next sales call you're on, you'll bust through that like nothing because you've been practicing it. Whereas if you've just been behind your computer, not talking with anyone and just typing away and coding all day, and the next time you're on a sales call, you're like, oh yeah, so pricing. Yeah, here's what we're doing. You know, but whereas if you've been doing that, if you've been sharing about your business and sharing your expertise, that comes so much more natural. This is a really, really important point. I'm so glad you brought that up, Duff, because video marketing, yes, it's a lead generator, it's a traffic booster, but it's also a hidden gem of practicing sales and getting better at sales.
Yeah, because eventually, I mean, just like you, even just like myself, right? We were practitioners at one point. I love shooting video, right? It was making stories and editing. I loved all that stuff. But at some point, you'll want to grow beyond that, right? Beyond the technician. So, and when you're working on the business instead of in it, right? In video, creating that content consistently, going to get you better at sales. So that way you can work yourself out of the web designer day to day and be more high level. I mean, having those big strategic meetings where you're leveraging just your creative thought, and then your web development team is executing on your creative thought because you're so good at it.
We were talking about AI before we hit record, and one thing that's fascinating about this, I actually have a colleague who's coming into Web Designer Pro here in a couple of weeks to do a live training about local SEO. And one interesting thing she talked about when it comes to local SEO nowadays, Sarah Dunn, is video is actually a key component to local SEO, especially now in the day of AI and copywritten and just duplicated content. So I would like to hear your thoughts on that, Doug, AI and video marketing, because I mean, I know there's tools now that can adjust your eyes and all that stuff, but
which is weird.
I feel like if anyone really wants to stand out now and not be lumped in with the commodity of AI-ness, a video is like, this is me. And the less polished it is, the more real it is. That's even more you. Even if you have filler words and you're not that great on camera, I feel like that almost builds more trust and credibility now than ever. What are your thoughts on personal video with AI?
With AI is fantastic to kind of help like ideate, right? So like again, let's go back to where we talked about, let's say the builder remodeler, right? So you can go on like ChatGPT and ask it, hey, I'm a local website designer and my niche is remodelers. Could you help me design a video marketing plan and give me scripts so I can read those or help me stay on point? It'll give you all that information, right? So you can create some really great videos and post it. You don't have to write all the blog posts out, right? But you still have to create the content. But here's a nugget that I promise you, if you do this, you will be on the first page of Google in less than 5 minutes. So here's the secret is when you make a video, especially talking about local search, is you say, hey, I'm Doug and I'm a local web designer here in Grove City, Ohio, and we specialize in yada, yada, yada. You say those keywords you want to be found locally in your video. You make your title, Grove City web designer. You make your description, the first sentence, hey, you're looking for a web designer in Grove City, Ohio? Well, you found the right video. And you get those three things working and you keep it private. When you upload the video, you keep it private, right? Because Google wants to index it. And how they index it is through captions. So it'll analyze the words that are said in your video. Keep it private. It'll analyze it, but it won't index it. So keep it private. Google will index it. You go and you correct those closed caption transcriptions and you feed it all the good stuff you want to have. Then you make it public. Your video will be on the front page of Google in about 5 minutes for your local area.
So let's dive into the private public thing. I was not aware of that. Why? Yeah. Can you hit me with? I don't think I understood why you would want to keep it private.
Yeah. So when you upload a video on YouTube, you want to keep it private, right? So because Google will automatically index it. So if you keep it private, it'll analyze the words that are said in your video. It just
gives it time to actually pull the correct.
Yep. And then before you make it public, go in there, click on captions, and correct the closed caption transcriptions.
Oh,
maybe this is something we can talk about in January, right? When we do our when we do our little bit of education, we can talk about it.
Let's do it. Yeah, I would love to do. Yeah, I would love to get a visual of that.
Yeah, so we'll walk through that, and then because Google will say, here's what we think is said in your video. And a lot of the times it's getting better, but sometimes it's a train wreck, right? Everything's misspelled. So you go in there, even adding punctuations and things like that.
Now, could you publish immediately and then go in and adjust those, or is the damage already done potentially?
The damage is kind of already done, right? So you want to correct it, and then once you make it public, Google will then index it, right? Because Google's got to figure out, okay, where do I put this video at? Right now, they have no clue. You're giving them that information in that video, even like the thumbnail image. Even if he goes granular as a thumbnail, like the name of the thumbnail, don't just name it like thumbnail video 1, right? Name it, Grove City, Ohio, web designer, city, state, right? And then what you do, the thumbnail, right? Because that too will be indexed. It's just all those little nuances that took me 15 years to learn. I just gave it to you in a moment. So enjoy.
It's so genius, man. I mean, this in the SEO world, this is really common, and still location pages. There's a lot of some people. There's been back and forths on whether location pages are valid and they work, and whether or not they work. But I'll tell you right now, if you search on Google, you will see the location optimized pages like this. And yes, you're totally right, Doug. If you can back that up with a video, first of all, the video is going to come up first, and no one's doing it. No one else is doing it. Dude. So especially web designers. No other web designers are doing this until now.
Yeah, if you take away anything from this podcast, listen today, do that.
So genius, man. That's a great tip. Yeah.
The beauty about it, I always tell businesses, think of Google's little brother as YouTube, right? If your little brother made you billions of dollars, your little brother isn't waiting in line doing traditional SEO, right? Google's saying, hey, little bro, we got a special spot for you because you make me billions of dollars. So if you're doing SEO as a part of like your web design packaging, right? Toss in video marketing as a service, create a video for them. You can utilize the Magnify platform to create a nice little like about me video, about us video, FAQ videos for their website, build out their YouTube channel. And
for your clients, you mean?
For your clients, do it for your clients. Yeah, yep. And then that way when you post that video as a part of your SEO package, video marketing included with your SEO, it'll give your client that quick win to make them feel good. Because we all know SEO is a long game. It takes it could be a year before they really start seeing some nice traction, depending on how competitive those keywords are. But if you can pop a video on the front page of Google based on their keywords, they're going to be, I was going to say something different. They're going to be so excited that they're going to go, dude, this is fantastic. Yeah. I was going to say poop their pants with excitement. You can edit it out, Josh. You
can say shit their pants on this podcast. It's all good.
There you go.
Man. I hope everyone realizes what an important tip this is, what a gold mine this is. Create a post, especially if you're focused on local clients, because you could do this long tail with keywords as well. But if you're doing local clients, this is the quickest win, and that is to have a blog post that's location based. Grove City, Ohio, web designer. The video with the thumbnail, with the captions, like you said, start private, edit the captions, adjust that accordingly, and then do the public.
And the thumbnail, all that kind of good stuff.
The really cool thing about this too is I didn't think about offering this as an option for clients because, like you said, most web designers don't want to be a video marketing agency, but with Magnify, you can literally send clients the link and have them tell them what to say. Let's say you do that for a client and they do 10 videos. It's a one-time thing. And then you could take the time you could make that a recurring income and have them do a video a month and just add, like, that's literally a recurring income source for web designers too. If you were to take a year's worth of video work for clients like this using Magnify and then just disperse that out once a month as a recurring package, you could add a blog post, location page, and the video they do. This is there's so many, like this is a win-win-win.
Yeah,
as far as the strategy goes.
If you're doing some basic SEO for customers, don't call it just SEO. Call it enhanced SEO. And they're going to go, why is it enhanced? Oh, because we dovetail video marketing tactics and because we understand YouTube is the number 2 search engine in the world. When they're maybe researching other web design companies, and they go, do you offer enhanced SEO? Or go, well, no. Like, oh, okay. Well, I'm going to go talk to this other guy. I'm going to go to this other agency that I called mine SEO Boost. Yeah. And I think we did it for Magnify when we launched originally, because I did I did the second version of the site in Divi before. You did the logo too. It's still standing strong, man. Yeah, I don't do any logo design anymore, but people love the logo. And we accidentally, for anyone watching this live or if you go to the show notes for this episode, you'll see the logo. I accidentally ingeniously created 2 people handshaking on the M. Wasn't it one of your clients who was like, I love the people shaking hands? That was Chris Borja. Oh, okay. He was on the podcast. He was on the podcast recently talking networking. Yeah. He was all about networking. So he's like, dude, it's like, that's cool. Like, there's 2 people shaking hands. I'm like, and you were like, it is. Yes. My genius designer did that. Yeah. We thought about it. No, we knew. Definitely thought through that strategy. No, Doug, I appreciate you sharing that, man. That's genius. So if we can dive into that in January for everyone who doesn't know, Doug's coming into Web Designer Pro to do a visual presentation training. That's a great strategy. Again, just last tip on that: do the location-based videos if you're doing it. But again, you can do, like, when I started joshhall.co, the way I grew my audience was online with YouTube primarily. And it was the same thing. I would do a video, usually Divi tutorials, on top of a blog post. And that's what comes up now. I'm still ranking really high. In fact, a lot of my Divi tutorials and my WordPress tutorials, my video is the first thing that shows up, because Google, I teach this in my SEO course, Google takes those little featured snippets, which are just, it's free advertising that just lasts forever. Yeah. Forever marketing. AI, real quick though, Doug, one further, I know we kind of got away from AI, but do you think AI is going to infiltrate video in the way of, like, well, it's interesting. Eventually, we'll because I'm on online so much. Like, is AI going to be able to take a version of Josh and make its own web design videos? I think eventually that could happen. Right now, right now, you probably see the same old crusty people like doing AI video. It's like it's awful. Like the mouth's off sync. It's awful. But literally, at the time of this recording, right? So November, what's the 2nd, right? Yesterday, they just signed AI legislation that eventually, if you create AI video, Josh, by law, you might have to have a watermark on it that says it's AI. Ah, wonderful. So it's interesting. It's fast moving, but at the same time, like, I could see it to where, like, you want to make an AI version of yourself, like Howie Mandel. You know who he is? Mm-hmm. So Howie Mandel was one of the first celebrities to really embrace AI, and he created an AI version of Howie Mandel. Oh, right. So Howie goes, hey, and this is exactly what words that he said was, hey, if you want to hire real Howie Mandel costs a lot of money to come in. But if you just need AI Howie's a whole lot cheaper. You can tell AI Howie what to pay. So eventually it'll be like, there'll be companies like, even like, I think Magnify, I think will eventually do something like that, where you'll go, hey, Josh, we can create an AI avatar for you. But guess what, my friend? Here's all the legalities you have to sign off on. It'll be like an iTunes thing. Just keep scrolling to the end.
Yeah.
Just accept
So,
whatever. I don't care.
This is, oh my gosh, this is going to infiltrate the coaching world. Like I could have levels, tiers to Web Designer Pro. It's like tier 1, you get AI Josh. That's just a collection of all my podcast tips and stuff. And then there's like the real Josh where I'm like, I'm actually working with you. That's interesting.
You could Josh, you could do that now. This could be
don't
off
worry,
record.
everybody. I'm not going to do AI Josh yet.
This could be off record, right? If you wanted to, but like, you could do cloning of your voice, and like right now, you could talk with ChatGPT, and they're putting a physical human being on there. What's keeping you from doing that now? There's nothing.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
It's
I had considered. We're close. I think this episode might be after the 300th episode. So 300 episodes of this podcast. There's enough content in the show alone to create an entire academy of web design. And that's not even my course videos, which I could upload. So that would be interesting. I had thought about that in the way of like making playlists and success paths with what we've talked about here that are even just outside of Web Designer Pro in my courses. That's super interesting.
AI is awesome, but I tell people all the time, and I think I say the phrase, I tell people all the time a lot. I don't know why I do, but I do. AI is still artificial.
Well, I was just going to say, here's the thing though, as much as that sounds really cool, I'd rather it be messy and human and real and authentic. And I don't love the AI stuff. And I can tell, especially when it comes to written content, I can tell immediately when something is AI, despite how good it's gotten. And maybe that'll change one day, but I like it real.
Yeah, exactly. We've probably all seen that, like, was it AI Tom Cruise, where that guy like AI'd his face to look like Tom Cruise? But
that almost got me at first. I mean, that was wild. Yeah.
You mentioned it. You just said it perfectly. I almost got it. Because we'll see the zipper at the back of the gorilla suit. We'll go, oh, it's not real.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah.
And you'll instantly go, oh, it's not real. It's AI Josh. I don't want AI Josh. I want real Josh. So, but it's there as a phenomenal tool. I think it's going to grow. And I think video. I'm currently experimenting with stuff, as I told you, always, right? But I think it'll get better and better. But I think like the swing to like AI automation, I think eventually that pendulum will swing back like to authentic. Right? That's the power of even a video testimonial. Like even with Google reviews, right? I'm actually working on an article right now. I'll share it with your audience once I get it done. It's a really in-depth study on how one video testimonial is worth 1,200 Google reviews.
Oh, please share that, Doug. Yeah, when you get it, if it's out by the time this goes out or whenever it's out, let me know because we'll link it in the show notes. I'd love to check that out.
I've been doing a lot of research because like people say, video testimonials are cool, but I really want to get more Google reviews. So I started researching into the science of it, and I found a really cool study that MIT did on this, how your brain processes visuals. So, but I won't spoil all the beans. But yeah, as soon as we get it done, and it's super close to being done, I'll share it with you.
Even the idea, like, even if you don't get that many testimonial views, like I have a ton of video testimonials on my site. How timely, literally before our call, I'm working on a whole series, like a whole set of video testimonials for Web Designer Pro. And the cool thing about that is, yes, the text testimonials are great, but you still don't like get to hear the person and know them. And you can tell if somebody is doing a testimonial that's forced or I begged them to do one, or you can tell if they're genuine. And like, I've got some coming out. You'll see, follow me on social, and anyone will see here, you'll see the genuineness of the excitement and the results that people are getting, with Pro. And then for everyone in your services, like if you have clients who really loved your service, get that video testimonial as quickly as possible. Yeah. That's what I teach in my business course, and share it, because that genuine, that excitement, that is contagious. And that's what really sells. If it hasn't already sold, that will be the icing on the cake.
Yeah, exactly. And then those people become your micro influencers. who are out working and selling your services while you're doing other things. That's the power of automate, delegate, and eliminate processes in your business with video.
I had one question that I almost slipped my mind, but I wanted to make sure I asked about this. This was in relation to the local videos, like along with the blog posts and stuff.
Yeah.
Does that work the same if you were to republish or repurpose those on not only just YouTube, but on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn as well? Would those show up, or is YouTube the primary thing for that?
For that, yeah, YouTube's the primary thing. But for that, for local search, right? Because everybody's going, let's face it, Google is they're just a giant, right? And Google's not going away anytime soon. AI's maybe hitting a little bit of that, but then they have their own version of AI. But at the end of the day, content is king. So post those videos on YouTube, right? And then pull them across all your social media channels because they all want it. So repurpose that content out. Absolutely. So it'll work. As far as search goes, it's hard to beat the Google. I guess.
Yeah, I was wondering if it could potentially be a downside if it was the exact same video on a bunch of different platforms.
Because they're all kind of. I mean, they're all like they're kind of siloed a little bit, right? Because so Google can't get into Facebook and look at all their content and categorize it, right?
Good point.
So yeah. But at the same time, I know I believe if I remember right, TikTok and Google. I think TikTok's opened up a little bit of allowing that to happen to show their videos within the search. But honestly, they're going to prioritize YouTube, right? Even though people say, oh, they shouldn't do that, blah, blah, blah. Well, you're going to promote your own business. I mean, come on.
Right. Yeah.
So just to be blunt, just play by the rules and give them what they want. And then they'll give you what you want, which is exposure. Because that's social media's dirty little secret. Right? So we love video because of engagement. It's so great. They love video because it keeps people on social media longer.
Yeah.
And if you're on there longer, even for fractions of seconds, guess what they can deliver to you? An ad, which is how they make their money. They're not just posting all this stuff for fun so you can post your fun cat videos. They want you to buy something or click an ad so they can make money. Video helps people keep people on the platform longer.
Yep. It's a great point, man. Well, Doug, we're getting close to the top of the hour. I know we both need to roll here soon.
But you're having fun, man.
Some awesome video marketing tips, man. I for one, am very, very excited about because AI has affected web design a lot in some ways, although in some ways really good just because it's helped make things a lot easier. But I'm excited about the particular aspect of video because I think now more than ever, it's so important to be authentic. And then if you can just do video and it doesn't need to be high quality, polished or anything like that, it's a no lose. Like I will say this, all of my web design students who have done any type of video, even if it's one video a month, obviously more is better, but any video, particularly on social media and for clients and stuff, it works like gangbusters for everybody. So I can't recommend enough to get going on that. So to you, Doug, I would love to tell us a little bit about Magnify right now and what's ahead. And then I'd love to finish off with maybe a quick tip that you have for anyone on video. But let's start with Magnify with where it's at.
Yeah. So Magnify right now we have 5 video tools, right? With the ability to, as we talk about, capture video testimonials. You can produce your own branded video content with our branded video tool. Create little story videos with our story video tool. It takes 3 clips and produces it in one video. So you can do FAQs, send guided requests for video testimonials where we ask them 3 questions. Then we have video email and video message tool, which video email is recording videos and sending in an email, which is perfect for prospecting. You're just communicating to your customers, right? And then video message tool that allows you to create a video and use it like in a social media DM like LinkedIn. So we're actually getting ready to—
Does that connect through Magnify? Like, can you go into Magnify and then send it to Instagram, or would I need to copy the link and then?
Yeah, so you upload it natively. So we have a YouTube upload button where you can upload videos right to YouTube because we're a big believer in getting those videos onto YouTube. But we are getting ready to add one click to where it pushes out to all this. Well, it'll be Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So, but yeah, pushing all that content out. And then we're actually working on getting ready to launch a new service called Magnify Premium. That's a done-for-you YouTube service. So we help build the video marketing plan for you, and then you create the content, but then we'll take it. Our team will take it produce the video and put it up on your YouTube channel with your graphic image, video SEO based on your business, all that kind of good stuff. So but probably by the time this releases, it'll be live. So that's the big exciting thing. So
that's super exciting.
And then your tip. Your tip. So
sorry, Doug. I think I lost the video. I think the internet connection's getting a little laggy, but I think it's recording good.
Okay. So the tip you asked for, the one tip. So I'm gonna give you a tip to close sales a whole lot better, and that's is recording a video email to your customer. So when you pitch a customer, right, and you get off that meeting, send them a video email as a thank you and ask them, when do they want to get started? You'll see your close rates shoot way up higher just by doing that alone. On top of that, right, well, everybody's all thinking of retention, right? How do I keep my clients from jumping ship, right? I call it Thank You Thursday. Every Thursday, pick a random client and record my video email, and this says, hey, Josh, I just want to say I'm super thankful that we worked together. I hope that we're delivering on our promise to you, yada, yada, yada. If there's anything that you need, I want you to know that we're your web design partner. We want to see you grow in 2024 and beyond. Click that link below, and you can call me right from this video email, or, hey, click here if you want to reply back. Just I want to let you know I'm thankful for you. Those thank you, it's like sending like a little note instead of a handwritten note. You're sending a thank you just to let your clients know how much you appreciate them.
I love that tip, Doug. Thank you Thursdays. I've done something for years, which is at the end of the year, I always send thank you letters to clients on maintenance plans. And more recently with this brand, I do it at the end of the year. I have like a list of colleagues and partners and stuff that I'll send a thank you video to. You'll be on this year.
There you go.
But I like the idea of making it a weekly habit. That's a really great idea, because it might be a little more expected, even though at the end of the year, no one still does that. It's still an amazing thing. Yeah. The random Thursday in October to get like hey, I was just thinking about you and I really appreciate you, and make it genuine, make it authentic. That goes a long way. Well said. And I think it's a great challenge for everyone. Because
your clients, I hate to say it, but your clients are getting prospected by other people.
That's also, it's a good way to dive into video if you're new and it be more comfortable, because it's not to a cold audience. It's not public. It's like, this person already knows me. They're a client. I talked to them anyway. Just, they were asking me about email stuff on Monday. So what if I sent them a thank you video just to say thanks? So great challenge. I challenge everybody. Try that for you could try it for 1 month. You could do 4 videos and get the momentum going, and just try it. Just try 4 videos.
Yeah. And if you want to jump on Magnify, try it out. It's free for 14 days.
There it is.
Jump in, have some fun.
Record. So try Magnify at my link, joshhall.co/Magnify. We'll of course have linked in the show notes. Do we have a special deal? I forget, Doug. Do we have an extended trial or something for with my link? I forget if we have something.
No, we don't have an we don't have an extended trial, but we do have a free community that people can hop in. It's called Magnify Connect, and anybody can hop in, learn video marketing strategy for free. We have live webinars at 11 a.m. on Tuesdays Eastern time, and then 1 p.m. on Thursdays Eastern time. You can learn it. You can learn video marketing strategy for absolutely free, even if you're not a Magnify member.
Beautiful. And like I said, even with a 14-day trial, you can record 10 videos. I know, get a little wonky. So I think the universe is saying we're done.
Yeah.
Yep. But that's a great call, man. Great call. Well, Doug, before we get kicked off the internet here, thank you for your time, man. And I'll see you here in January for the pro training.
Thank you.
There we have it, friends. I hope you enjoyed this conversation with Doug with these different video marketing tips. I hope it has empowered you with some strategies and ideas on how to do video marketing in an easy way that works for you. I do recommend getting out of your comfort zone. I want you to be comfortable on video, but the reality is I am only comfortable on video now because I've done it nearly every day for 8 years. When I got started on video, I was terrible. So the more you do it, the better you'll get, the more easy it comes to you. and you won't even realize the camera's recording eventually. And again, you can start small with screen recordings and everything that we talked about in this interview. So I hope it helps you. Again, you can use my link, joshhall.co/magnify. That's spelled MAGNFI, for a special deal to try out Magnify to see if it's going to work for you, to get a feel for it. Really been a big benefit for me in my business, and I know it will for you too. I also meant to mention in the intro, but Doug is going to be coming in to Web Designer Pro, my coaching community. At the time of releasing this episode, he's going to be coming in next week to do a special presentation, a guest expert training on how to collect video testimonials for web designers with an exclusive framework that you can use to get video testimonials to put on your website. So also another reason, if you haven't yet, to jump into Web Designer Pro, because these monthly guest expert trainings are just one of the many amazing perks of being in my coaching community. So you can go to joshhall.co/pro to join us there. And if you catch this before Doug presents, you can jump on the live training and ask Doug questions yourself. joshhall.co/pro. And again, to try Magnify out, go to joshhall.co/magnify for a special deal to get going with video marketing. All right, friends, can't wait to see what you do with video. Leave me a comment at joshhall.co/307 if you'd like to leave me a comment, and you'll see all the show notes and links recommended and mentioned here over at joshhall.co/307. All right, friends, cheers to your video marketing efforts to grow your business. I will see you on the next episode.